Hello everyone. Today we are reading the book of Joshua chapter 9. So we read chapter 8 the Wednesday, and today we are reading chapter 9. So in the chapter 8 we saw that the Israelites repented before God after they committed mistake and sin, that they got the plunder, God's thing. They steal God's thing by taking plunder from the city Jericho after they got the victory over them. God told them, don't get anything from city Jericho as plunder. But they did it, especially Achan. So, therefore, in the following battle against the city Ai, they were defeated by Ai, even though they were weaker and smaller than city Jericho. But once they prayed to God, God explained why they were defeated. So it was chance for them to be reminded that their victory, their strength is not from themselves, but from God. So they repented before God, and then they attacked city Ai again, and they finally got the victory. And then what did they do? They read the Bible. They read the words of God after the victory as a way to remember that their strength, their help, their victory is from God. So that's what they did after victory over city Ai at the second battle against them. So some because they got the victory over city Jericho and city Ai, the kings nearby those area, they were concerned. Oh, did you hear about Joshua? Yes, I heard about him. He got victory over city Jericho. I thought it was just a lucky case, but they again got the victory over the city Ai. So the kings and the other nations around that area, they were concerned. So they tried to get together and attack against Joshua. Or if we just stay here, Joshua will attack us as well. So let us get together and attack Joshua. That's what they tried to do. But one of the tribes, which was Gibeonite, they heard the story that God was with Israel and Joshua and got the victory over city Jericho and Ai. So they were concerned about their future. Or even though we gather together and attack Joshua and Israel, we may be defeated because I heard that God is with them. Their God is very strong God. So they were concerned. So what did they do? So we can see what they did in today's chapter 9. They tricked the Israelites. So they came to the Israelites and the leaders of the Israelites, and they told the leaders of Israel like this: oh, we don't have any power, we don't have anything to eat, we are just poor, so please accept us as your people, please help us, please save us. That's what the Gibeonites asked the Israelites. Yes, when the Israelites saw them, the Gibeonites, they looked very, how can I say, poor. They looked very weak. And then, oh, maybe we need to help them. They don't have any power. They are not a threat to us. So the Israelites decided to accept them and embrace them. But the verse 14 saying to us the problem. Yes, embracing someone who were weak and embracing someone poor was good. However, Israelites didn't ask God first. Yes, another mistake they made. Yes, before attack the city Ai, they made a big mistake at the time. They steal the God's thing. They got the plunder from the city Jericho. But this time it was not a. It didn't seem like a big problem, big mistake. However, they again missed to ask God first. They were supposed to ask God first. God, which direction do we need to go with them? do we need to accept them as, do we need to embrace them because they are poor? They didn't ask. So they were tricked by them. They were tricked by them. In the following verses, like 21 through 27, those verses tell us what did the Israelites do with the Gibeonites. They made them like a slavery, so the Gibeonites were serving the Israelites. Yes, as a result, it was good thing for the Gibeonites. But for the Israelites, they were supposed to conquer and wipe out all the nations, that area, including Gibeonites. But their original plan was a little bit changed because they were tricked by the Gibeonites. Gibeonites were not the group of people they were supposed to embrace, but the conquer. But their original plan changed. They ended up to embrace them because they didn't ask God. Yes, throughout the book of Joshua, we can see some victories that the Israelites got over city Jericho, over city Ai, and over other nations in those following verses. However, they also made some mistakes, big or small, like a case for the city Ai and the case for today. They just embraced others before asking God. They didn't ask God first, but just embraced others. So it caused them to change their original plan. I think we are the same when we try to live according to God's will and God's word and God's plan. We try to be perfect. We try to do our best. However, we make some mistakes, big or small. We just do not keep the commandment. We just do not keep the words of God and make a big mistake, or we just miss to ask God. Oh, I can do this by myself. I don't have to ask God and make some small mistake. So I think that's the mistakes the people are making, have been making today and even historically. Yes, eventually God leads us to the best place. However, when we forget to ask God, when we forget uh, to communicate with God, we make mistakes, big or small. So, I think asking God, which means communicating with God, is very important to avoid some big mistakes. Yes, sometimes the mistakes are just small, like today's chapter. Yes, I believe that even though we make mistakes, God will take care of you. So that's the good news for us. However, before that, I hope also that you always ask God's will and communicate with God, because He is the one who leads us to the best place. Thank you.